Hello again, everybody. My name is Sam Webber. I'm an incident meteorologist trainee here with Southwest Team 2 on the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak fire. We're going to go ahead and get started with your Sunday weather forecast update. So we'll do as we always do and start out with a regional view on satellite. So what you can see here we are in New Mexico, right where my hand is. We have Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle, Colorado here. It's a fairly innocuous looking morning. We have a little bit of cloud cover over us here, and to the west over Arizona, it's pretty dry and pretty clear. You can see that right there. We had maybe a little cloud that popped up here, but really not a lot of moisture as we head back to the west. And we talked about this yesterday, of that moisture that was pushed out of the area, and then it's going to flow back up here overhead and cause some clouds and some afternoon thunderstorm activity. So we'll be seeing a little bit more of that today and potentially even to tomorrow. So if we'll go to the next slide here, I'll show you, this is what we showed yesterday with the water vapor imagery. This is an estimate of how much moisture is in the atmosphere based off the color shading. The yellows and oranges showing more dry air, and the blues and the greens, even with this thunderstorm here over southern Nebraska, showing a lot more water vapor and moisture in the atmosphere. So talked about that area of cloud cover over New Mexico this morning, and you can see where all that moisture stems from. It's kind of emanating out from northern Mexico and up through New Mexico here. But to the west of that, look how dry that air is. That's really deep oranges over Southern California and even southern Arizona here. So that's kind of going to be the trend as we head into the week, is seeing more of this dry air push into our area, pushing this moisture that we have right now out and putting us in more of a critical fire weather period. So we'll go ahead and move on here. This is a look at our 3-day weather forecast maps today, Monday, and Tuesday, and I have a star of where we are here in north central New Mexico. What you'll see today is I've circled this brown area, this brown circle over New Mexico for both today and tomorrow, and that's because we have that area of moisture overhead bringing us some cloud cover in the afternoon and potentially some showers and thunderstorms. Now, when we see these showers or thunderstorms come over, we're not going to see much precipitation at all. It's all going to evaporate and create a lot of wind towards the surface because we're so dry down here. Yesterday, we were in the upper single digits for relative humidities to low teens over the fire. So that's just a testament of how dry it actually is here. So with that moisture moving it overhead, it's not really going to provide us any beneficial rainfall, but rather just a little bit of a problem with outflow winds, changing directions really rapidly, blowing in directions that it's not normally about 40 miles an hour. So we saw some pretty strong gusts yesterday. We're expecting a similar thing today and even tomorrow. I'll bring your attention to this gray area here. That's the critical fire weather area. You can see mostly to our west, but we're going to see some isolated critical fire weather over our area today as we start to move into a more critical fire weather period. Monday, that gray area moves over a lot of New Mexico, so red flag warning day, Monday, more significant than today. So we do have a red flag warning today. We're going to have another red flag warning on Monday. And then Tuesday, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on there, but we have a weather pattern that's pushing across the Great Basin and lifting out north. And on Tuesday, that starts to lift out, and we still have some winds that are going to be left over. Not much moisture, though, because of that orange area on the water vapor I showed you. All of that's going to be pushing over New Mexico as we head into early next week. So we'll head on here, and this is a look at area red flag warnings in New Mexico, and you see this large area of pink all across northern New Mexico. Those are all red flag warnings. Most of those, especially over here to the northwest, are for tomorrow, Sunday, from noon to 8 p.m. But this deeper shade here is a couple red flag warnings overlaid with one another. So, meaning that today we do have a red flag warning in effect from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then again, tomorrow, same thing, red flag warning in effect for hot, dry, and windy conditions. And so if you're out on the roads or doing whatever you're doing, make sure that you're aware of where you are. Don't be parking cars over really dry, dead grass. If you're towing things, make sure all your chains are hooked up and not dragging, because any sparks can ignite a fire. And under these red flag conditions, we can have really rapid spread, and we don't want things getting out of control. So we'll move on here, and we'll take a look at what our week looks like ahead of us. So you can see here, Sunday, we're starting this little downtrend of dew points as we head into early next week. I mentioned a little bit of that moisture sticking with us that I showed you on the water vapor today, and potentially tomorrow. You can see our dew points come up just a little, but as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, that area of orange and yellow shading that I showed you on the water vapor moving into our area seriously drops our dew points. And if you look at our relative humidities here, here's the 20% line, right? We're going to be well below that. We'll be near single digits, mid to upper single digits, so really dry by Wednesday. But we do start to lose some of that wind, but it is still going to be critically dry. So, essentially from Sunday into Wednesday is our critical fire weather period that we've been talking a lot about here on the fire. But you'll notice by Wednesday, or even late Wednesday into Thursday, look how rapidly those dew points increase. So that means for us that we're going to start introducing a lot more moisture into the area, things that are more recognizable in the summer when we're talking about monsoon patterns. So you'll see dew points go up, relative humidity goes up, cloud cover all through late next week and even into the weekend, and even early next week, seeing a lot more cloud cover and a lot more chances for precipitation. So that's a good sign. We like to see that. It helps moderate the fire a little bit, gets us out of this really warm and really dry pattern that we've been seeing and are expected to see over the next few days. So we'll move ahead here. And I just talked about that monsoon pattern potential for later in the week. So during a monsoon pattern, which is typically what this area sees and the Southwest sees during the summer months as far as moisture goes. So we have this upper level pattern that you see here with this high pressure that's generally centered to the east of us. So flow going around a high pressure is clockwise. So in a clockwise direction down to our southeast, those winds are going to start pulling out of the Gulf of Mexico, which is a really warm body of water which is able to put a lot of moisture into the atmosphere. The other pattern that's going to be introduced with is you see this storm system over the Great Basin that's going to be lifting further north. Winds around that are going to be counterclockwise, kind of moving in generally this direction. So that flow pattern is going to be pulling moisture out of the Gulf of California, another warm body of water that can really easily put moisture into the atmosphere. So with this whole pattern going on, we're going to see a lot more moisture introduced into our area. And you can see this is our surface dew point map here on the right. That's what we use to describe moisture content in the atmosphere. So you look at our red circle there, and these arrows are right in the same position. And this high, you can see bringing all that moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico. You can see these really deep purples and even blue starting to push up into eastern New Mexico. So this is kind of what we're looking at for next week and why we think we're going to see a lot of moisture start to get introduced into our area. And this is something that's more characteristic of summertime weather patterns rather than the really dry, really windy conditions that we've been seeing over the past several weeks. So things like this are going to become more common, but it's not persistent. I will say that. We'll see periods of dry, periods of wet. It all depends on where this area of high pressure sets up. If we get it setting up further to our west, kind of centered overhead, it's going to be a day like it was yesterday. Pretty dry, pretty hot. But if we shift it further east, then we introduce that flow pattern that starts to draw moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. So that'll be something to keep on watching as we head more and more into the summer. But we're starting to get hints of that here at the end of the week, which is pretty promising for fire and getting some water on that fire and starting to tamper things down here. So I just want to show you here next what I was talking about. And you can see as this high area of high pressure starts to set, you can kind of see a little curve in the dew points here as we head later in the week and see them pulling moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. And you can kind of see it's a little bit of an ebb and a flow when moisture pushes into an area. So we'll have, during the daytime, things heat up, moisture starts to spread up to us. During the night, we start to see what's called a dry line, where we have all that dry interior air start to push out. So this is kind of really more characteristic of what we see during the summer, which is really good because it brings us those daily chances of showers and thunderstorms. And this goes all the way into next Wednesday, this is not a forecast, this is just a forecast model, but it is showing that we do have some of those greens, some of that more moisture hanging over our area into next week, which could bring us those daily shower and thunderstorm chances. So that's really good. Then lastly, we'll just go here to our fire weather matrix. You see a lot of red on this. As we get later in the week, you're starting to see more green, but a lot of red leading up to that, and that's that critical fire weather pattern that I was talking about. Sunday today and Monday tomorrow, red flag warning days. Pretty windy, getting more windy on Monday. Really dry, and look at our humidity, minimum humidities really take a nosedive as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. Thinking around 12% today, average across the fire. So it could be lower down in the valleys, higher on the higher terrain. But as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, our average minimum humidities drops into the single digits. So getting really dry, getting windy, humidity recovery is very poor. So we've got this little period to work through before we get to some light at the end of the tunnel here. We see this moisture returns by Thursday, start increasing our chances for lightning, increasing our winds. As that moisture pushes in, it's going to push in pretty strong. Cloud cover comes up, temperatures start dropping, minimum humidity comes up, and max humidity comes up as well. So things are looking pretty promising towards the end of the week, but we just have this period of critical fire weather to get to. So with that, that ends your Facebook update. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.